importance of Bernadotte for Sweden, and of course Jean-Baptiste, the founder of the new dynasty, is for me fundamental because he allows Sweden to restart in a period when it's really not doing well. It just has lost the Finnish province to the Russians. The Russians were allies of the French, and the Russians took advantage of that. And Sweden was sort of moribund, sort of disappearing. And what his arrival coincides with is a complete restart of what I would say what the French would call la grande nation, which is the great Swedish nation. And this comes in multiple ways. But the first way in which he does it, of course, is in a military way, that he is hired to reconquer Finland from the Russians, but he's prudent and he says the Russians will never allow this. So we will conquer Norway instead, and nobody will defend Norway. And that gives that basically is the end of the Danish nation as a big nation. By the way, the Swedes could have had Greenland if they hadn't if they had been more careful. So this is the end of the big Danish nation and the beginning of the Swedish nation. What it brings with it is sort of this mixture of this French revolutionary ideas, which is, I think, which Sweden was better prepared for, being a Protestant nation, of basically caring for the people. Bernadotte was known as the general who cared the most for his troops. There was never any looting. There was never any sort of bad force being used. And so I would say Bernadotte is the beginning of liberal social democracy in a strange way, because the crown survives. And the crown actually doesn't survive. The crown becomes the founder of this liberal social democracy, which really is an example for the world. And then together he takes the big lesson, which is, war is too terrible because it takes the young people away from the nation. So he starts the Swedish policy of neutrality. What I think most people don't actually maybe might not understand enough is that he brought all of the ideas of social planning, which is the universities, the technical schools, the canals, all the industry, which Napoleon had used for the army. He actually uses it for society, and so you have an industrial birth. And then he was a great financier. I think Britta already said, that he actually invested money, compensated some of the merchants for money they had lost due to the embargo. So he also creates sort of the Swedish financial system, which also is sort of more social. So I sort of say, it's a mixture of the French ideals, the lessons from what went wrong in France, and with these lessons Bernadotte actually makes it happen in Sweden. And that makes Sweden completely different from the other Scandinavian nations, and actually from all the other nations, because it's a truly Franco-Swedish mixture. Of course the final soil is Swedish, but a lot of the social ideas, the policies, actually had their origins through Bernadotte, further implemented through his son Oscar. So for 40 years together they completely revolutionized Sweden. Sweden has done it well, and I think the fact that Sweden was a Protestant country probably helped, in a way that France was not.
In what way do you think it helped?
Protestant countries are more collective, or more collaborative, or more social. Latin countries are terribly individualistic. So basically, it becomes all about Napoleon and not about the people. Whereas for Bernadotte, who was actually from Béarn, so Béarn is known as having produced Protestant kings, Henry IV and Bernadotte. So these people are actually more collective.
Yeah, he comes from Navarra, right?
Yeah.
Where the Protestant movement was really fundamental in France. Yeah. And so
So he was prepared. I mean, it's an amazing coincidence, because if you had taken a king from the north of France, or if you had taken a king from a Catholic part of France, this would not have worked, I think. The fact that he came from Navarre, from Béarn, was fundamental to his being able to maneuver, in a Protestant country. By the way, he had no problem becoming a Protestant, unlike his wife, who was a bit of a dude. She didn't really support. I mean, she supported him, but she was very much away. I mean, he did it with his son basically.
Oh yeah, with us.